Kyn nafnorða. Noun gender. Samtal 1. Hvað þetta? Hvað þetta, elskan? Þetta bíll, mamma. Hvernig hann á litin? Hann blár. En hvað þetta? Þetta bók, mamma. Hún græn. Einmitt. En hvað þetta hér? Þetta glas. Það tómt. Again, we return to our three genders. Kyn. Every noun has a gender. Gender is a property of nouns. The term gender doesn't imply that a particular word is more masculine or feminine. It's just a method of classing nouns by their grammatical properties. This means that grammatical gender doesn't always align with natural gender. E.g., blaðamaður, journalist, is grammatically masculine, but it's also used about women, and grænmetisæta, vegetarian, is grammatically feminine, but it's also used about men. That said, the grammatical gender of common words for people, such as maður, strákur, kona, stelpa, bróðir, and systir, generally corresponds with the natural gender implied by the meaning of these words. Within each gender, we have two main subcategories: sterk, strong, and veik, weak. Strong is shorthand for ends in a consonant. Hestur, rós, land. And weak is shorthand for ends in a vowel. Penni, kaka, hjarta. There are exceptions. But being able to identify strong and weak nouns is important for things like forming plurals and inflecting nouns for case. Strong masculine nouns show the most variation in endings. The most common ending by far is ur. This ending is highly characteristic of the masculine, so assume a noun is masculine if it ends in ur. There are some exceptions, such as veður, which is neuter, but these are few and far between. So we have hestur, gestur, dalur, staður, maður, dagur. Another common strong masculine ending is ir, læknir, vísir, reynir. Then we have the double L, double N group. These nouns behave in similar ways and so group together. Note that the ending is in both cases pronounced with T insertion. So, bíll, gafall, spegill, egill, steinn, sveinn, kolbeinn. The final group is endingless, indicated with the O with a line through it. The stem of many nouns in this group ends in S or R. This is the smallest group, so it's best to learn that these are exceptions rather than a predictable group. Lax, foss, fugl, hamar, traktor, bambus. For the masculine, there are two weak groups. The first ends in ear. 99% of weak masculine nouns have this ending. Penni, lampi, krakki, benni. There is a tiny group that ends in a. Most of these words are derivations of herra, which means Mr. or Sir. For example, ráðherra, minister. And so we move on to the feminine. For the first group of feminine strong nouns, we have no common ending. There is some kind of pattern, however. What do these words have in common? The answer is that they all contain some sort of accented vowel. So a vowel with an acute accent or the letter and then they either end in a consonant or in the accented vowel. Rós, mjólk, gjöf, önd, mús, búð, Guðrún, ló, tá, brú. Unfortunately, we don't get any more clues than these. We just have to learn that they're feminine. The second two strong groups are more regular and predictable. All nouns ending in ing are feminine. Æving, spurning, drottning, as are all nouns with two or more syllables that end in un. Verslun, menntun, ætlun. There's only one weak group for the feminine, a. This is a very large group. So if you see a noun ending in a, you should assume it's feminine unless you know otherwise. Remember, very few masculine nouns end in a. Kaka, tala, kona, anna. Then we have the neuter. We have three groups of strong neuter nouns. Like strong feminine nouns, there's no unifying ending that makes them easily identifiable. There are some traits we can pick up on though. They're mostly single syllable, ending in a consonant, and contain an unaccented vowel. Land, skip, box, fjall, lauf, blað. As we can see though, hús and rúm contain accented vowels and might at first glance appear to be feminine. If you thought they looked feminine, you assumed correctly. These should be learnt as exceptions. The next group contains nouns that end in an accented vowel. If that vowel is ye, e, or o, the word is overwhelmingly likely to be neuter. Hné, tré, fjö, bakari, fylleri, kakó. If it ends in u or y, it could be feminine. We just have to learn the gender of nouns with u or y by heart. However, nouns that end in I are always neuter. Fræ, hræ. The final group ends in unaccented e. Logically, this would seem like a weak group, but they are in fact treated as strong nouns because of how they form their plural and various case forms. If you see a noun ending in e, you should assume it's a weak masculine noun, but there is also a chance it's neuter. You'll notice certain patterns in meaning that will help you determine whether nouns like this are masculine or neuter, but those are too complex to go into here. Should learn the gender of these nouns by heart. Tæki, merki, enni. Finally, we have weak neuter nouns. These are a tiny handful of nouns, no more than a few dozen, all ending in a. They're mostly body parts with some exceptions. Auga, eyra, hjarta, lunga, bjúa, which is a kind of disgusting Icelandic sausage made from horse meat, and pasta. However, if you don't know any better, you should assume that nouns ending in are feminine. The gender of a noun also determines the pronoun we use to refer to it. Icelandic doesn't have one single pronoun equivalent to it in English. So instead, we use the relevant gendered pronoun depending on the gender of the noun. Þetta bíll, hann rauður. Þetta kaka, hún ljúf. Þetta tré, það gamalt. These different pronouns would all be translated as it into English. The ákveðin greinir, or definite article, is how we say the. In Icelandic, instead of placing a separate word before the noun, as we do in English, we add a suffix to the end. For the masculine, this is INN, in. We don't need to add the ear if the word ends in an unaccented vowel. So we have hesturinn, the horse, læknirinn, the doctor, hamarinn, the hammer, bíllinn, steinninn, pennin, lampinn. For the feminine, the article is in, same pronunciation as for the masculine. Again, we don't need to add the ear if the word ends in an unaccented vowel, but if the vowel is accented, we do add the ear. Rósin, the rose, búðin, the shop, táin, the toe, æfingin, ætlunin, but kakan, konan. For the neuter, the article is if. The same rule about adding ear applies here too. Landið, blaðið, tréð. This one's a little bit exceptional. You don't add the ear to tré. Bakaríið, tækið, augað, eyrað.